Hello.
Hi, is this Ethan?
Yeah.
Hi, Joseph Williams, returning your call.
Hey, Joe, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Sorry about that. Just missed the phone.
No worries. I know you're probably busier than most normal folks out there, so all good, my friend. How's life treating you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Not too bad. How about yourself?
Oh, just getting it done, trying to get 2026 off to the best start I can possibly make.
That's it.
Hey, let's go ahead and just get into this. Obviously, you got like two separate tours coming up with Toto for 2026. One of them, the first one we'll talk about, hitting Orlando March 1st at the Hard Rock. This is an Evening with Toto. Now, it's the full band, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, and you're just, you and Steve just decided, let's go deeper into the Toto catalog for the real fans and pull out some stuff that we normally don't play and really just, it's all about all of the music.
That's absolutely true. I mean, with as many albums as we have, it's great to be able to plug in some stuff that we've either never done or haven't done in ages. And, you weave that around with some of these big hits, and it, makes for a pretty good show.
Have you guys already had a few of those dates under your belt, or is that not started yet?
No, it has not started yet. We're gonna get together and rehearse a little bit at the end of this month, and then we head out there in February.
Well, obviously, whenever the band is playing live, you have a huge audience response for the hits, as we all know, Rosanna, Hold the Line, Africa. Have you ever brought one of those deeper cuts out just on a random night and gotten a huge crowd response you didn't expect for a song that you didn't think would kind of evoke that?
It happens all the time. I mean, that's the beauty of it is, even people who've never heard what we're playing, it's not all the time, but most of the time, we'll pull something out that's just grooves and they won't necessarily know what it is, but they enjoy it just the same.
I remember I had read something, I think it was on Wikipedia when I was talking to Steve, and it was about how he didn't really like the song 99, and he goes, no, that's completely untrue. I love it. That was taken out of context. And I said, good, because my wife is a huge fan, and when we saw you guys at Ruth Eckerd Hall, you played 99, and my wife just went through the roof on that one. So I was standing next to one of those fans, blowing up and losing her ever-loving mind there.
That's great. Yeah. We got there's a handful of, what we call sort of like the secondary hits, like 99 and Georgie Porgy and I Won't Hold You Back, that ballad, a lot of stuff that was really popular and high on the charts back in the day. Maybe not quite as big as something like a Rosanna or an Africa, but there's a nice fistful of tunes like that. So we always have those going on.
With as huge a history that Toto has, I'm sure it's probably hard to keep up with all of the big milestones in the history of the band. But I noticed today is the anniversary. Back in 1979, it was Hold the Line actually peaked at number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100, and that was like the first big hit for the band in 79. So happy anniversary to everybody in the band then.
All right. Thanks very much.
No problem, my friend. Is there any song that you are looking most forward to playing from that back catalog when you're going deep that you're like, wow, I've always wanted to really bring this one out?
Well, the answer to that is absolutely. I mean, I'll give you an example. This last run that we did for 2025, we pulled out a song that was recorded on an album in 1998. And nobody really would have known this tune unless you were a real diehard fan. The track was called Minefields, and it was off of the album Minefields, and it was so much fun to play, and it always ended up getting a great response, even though people weren't sure what it was. It got one of those great hooky choruses. Just didn't get heard back when it was released, but that's the kind of thing we'll pull out. I don't think that in the history of the touring band it was ever actually played, so it was something very fresh. And we've got a couple things like that coming up for this tour. It's going to be fun.
When you guys are out doing just your standard tour with like your big set of hits and stuff, are you've got songs that you normally play? Is it kind of the same set list tour after tour? Do you switch it up every time and bring some stuff in and throw some stuff out?
Well, yeah. I mean, we want to keep it a little bit fresh as best we can. I mean, obviously we got to play, like you said. Your wife enjoyed '99. That was a pretty modest hit back in the day, and so we'll sometimes swap that out, but we usually keep stuff like that. And then, of course, you've got your Africa and Rosanna. You got to do those, and that's fun. Those are really actually fun to do.
I loved the way when I saw you, it was at Ruth Eckerd Hall. I believe it was right there at the end of the show that you did this really cool sort of medley where Rosanna bleeds into Africa, and it's one of those, all of a sudden one song becomes the other song and everybody just loses their mind. And I was just like, that's got to be fun to perform that blended song in just one big explosion like that. Yep.
That's actually really a blast to do that. Sometime one tour we did about halfway through the show, everybody kind of came up front and we did this sort of semi acoustic little moment there, and the whole thing was one giant medley. So that can be really fun to do.
When you're out doing this an Evening With tour, I know that you and Steve and everybody in the band have doing this so long, you really gel like on stage, you know each other's cues and this, that, and the other. On this tour where you're having some new stuff, are you going to let people sort of get out there and solo and stretch their legs a little bit, or are you going to keep it strictly to the songs as on the albums?
No. We love to do that. We've got, it's a band of absolutely stellar musicians, and you got to let them roam. You got to let them stretch a little bit. So, yeah, in an evening with where we really got some time and we're not, up against time constraints. We've got a whole bunch of things like that, some soloing and step outs and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be good.
Is there ever a time where Luke is just going off and you're just standing back watching him going, all right, I'll let you, I'm going to take a break over here in 5 minutes and I'll come back?
Well, I don't know about 5 minutes, but the answer to that is absolutely. And it's always fun to stand there or be back there watching him go nuts, because he's amazing. He's been blowing my mind since I was 14 years old. I've known the guy forever. And even back in the day when we were high schoolers and stuff, he was really had a reputation for just being the best. And nothing's changed. I'm like a little kid up there watching him, just like I did when he was coming through our school and playing back in the 70s.
You are obviously also a composer and a musician of a number of different instruments and stuff. I was listening to Dennis and Tennant before we got on the phone, and I was noticing like the jazz influence, but there's so many different instruments and layers all woven together. Did you play everything like on that song and that album?
Not everything, but a lot of it. A lot of it was sort of what you would call in the box, just me sort of in the studio experimenting, that kind of thing. But I had other musicians on there. Simon Phillips, who was one of the Toto drummers. He came into the band right after Jeff passed away, the original drummer. He's on there. A great guitar player called Mike Landau. He's in there. Luke is in there. Leland Sklar, bass player. There's a bunch of great musicians on that album.
Leland Sklar, man, he is amazing. Just that name alone, I'm like, wow, that guy's badass.
He's legendary.
Yeah.
He's been around forever, but he's played with just about the best of artists out there over the years. He's a legend.
When you're doing your solo stuff like that, do you hear a majority of the instrumentation ahead of time? And being a composer, you kind of hear all those different things, or do you sit there and just go, well, let's try this and see how it sounds, and then throw stuff away and try another instrument?
Sometimes it's both. Sometimes I've got a pretty clear vision or an idea of what I'd like it to be, and I'll just work to get to that point. And then other times I'm not quite sure what I want to do, and have the sort of the basic idea, but then you just start throwing things against the wall and see what sticks and what sounds good, and you just trust your ears, and that also can be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time today, buddy. Toto, an Evening With is going to be in Orlando at the Hard Rock on March 1st for a slightly more intimate show and longer for you big Toto fans. And August 1st, you'll be rolling back through with Christopher Cross and the Romantics in Tampa, and hopefully we'll catch you at both shows. And thank you, buddy. Can't wait to see you when you're back in town, man. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
You too. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir.